Time is 6:30 p.m. and the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of May 6th, 2014 is now called to order, and there is a quorum present. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the April 15th, 2014 meeting. Are there any corrections or additions? If not, may I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Brent, seconded by Steve. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 3 is a consent agenda for plats. It's the final plat of Castle Hills, Phase 8, Section B. It's commercial lots 1 through 7, Block A, on a 19.84 acre tract. It's designated General Business 2, GB2, located in Castle Hills along the south frontage road of State Highway 121 between Josie Lane and Plano Parkway. Mary?
Good evening, Commissioners. The plat before you this evening has no variances. It is on the consent agenda. It is Castle Hills Phase 8, Section B, 7 commercial lots, designated General Business 2. Staff would recommend approval.
Commissioners, discussion? Questions? All right, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to recommend approval.
Motion by Karen,
Second.
seconded by Brent. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 4 is public hearing consent agenda for plat. Is the final plat of Metro Auto Auction Dallas Edition, lots 1R and 2, Block A. It is a 43.216 acre tract. It's zoned light industrial, L1. It's located on the south side of Midway Road between Hawford's Prairie Road and Barfneck Road, or Lane. Mary?
Commissioners, this is a replat. Essentially what they've done is they're adding some more property to the Metro Auto Auction site, which we'll be discussing later in the meeting regarding the special use permit process. So Lot 1 is right here, and then you have a little part of Lot 2. There are no variances requested, and staff would recommend approval.
Questions? All right, if not, at this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak on this subject, please come forward, state your name, and sign in. All right, having no one come forward, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, discussion?
Mary, is this the same one that came to us just a little bit ago? This is the final version of that same plat? 6 months ago?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
This site was developed, I believe, in 2012. It was constructed, and so they've acquired additional property since that time and are looking to expand.
Thank you.
Anything further? We have a motion?
Make a motion to recommend approval.
Motion by Karen to recommend approval,
Second.
seconded by Alvin. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item agenda number 5 is public hearing for plats. There are plats A and B. Each one will be separate public hearings. 5A is preliminary plat of Castle Hills Golf Villas, Phase 3 addition, containing 93 residential lots, 2 non-residential lots, and 5 common area lots. It's on a 28.468 acres, designated ETH, Estate Townhouse, and single-family residential, R12, with 4 associated variances. This is located at Lady of the Lakes Boulevard and Sur Lavelle Lane. Jeff?
All right, good evening, Commissioners. This is a preliminary plat. The portion of the Castle Hills Golf Course is being preliminary platted to allow 93 residential units. These units are located adjacent to, or will be adjacent to the golf course and also previous phases of residential subdivisions. The existing residential subdivisions are also gated communities, such as this one is being proposed. The variances are real similar in nature. The 4 variances that they are asking for is to allow private streets in a gated community instead of a public street, to allow the public utilities in an easement under private pavement, allow a 41-foot private street right-of-way and 6-foot sidewalk and utility easements in lieu of the required 50-foot right-of-way, or in this case, I guess it would be a 50-foot easement, and also to waive the alley requirement. Like I said, these are similar variances that we've approved for phases 1 and 2, and staff is recommending approval of the preliminary plat with the 4 variances.
Commissioners?
Got a question.
Yes, sir.
You said, I misunderstood you. What's the easements on that? How wide are the easements?
The proposed easement, instead of the street right-of-way, this will be make sure I'm looking at it right. The overall, the street easement will be 41 foot wide, and adjacent to it on each side will be a 6-foot sidewalk and utility easement. Along with, within the 41 feet, it will also be a drainage and utility easement as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So is the drainage and utility easement going to be within the street?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So the placement of utilities will be kind of like in a normal street section.
Okay.
And there's a street section on the bottom of page 1 in the packet, which is right here.
Is this, we don't have the full packet here, or I don't. Is this the one that has the, where the homeowners association is going to own the street? Is that just the street or the utilities
Just
underneath the street?
They would just maintain the street,
Okay.
is my understanding. Even in the future, if we annex annex all the land into Louisville, that the homeowner association would maintain the street pavement.
Okay.
And this was true on phases 1 and 2 as well.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
This time we'll open up the public hearing. If anybody wishes to speak on this subject, please come forward, state your name, and sign in. All right, having no one come forward, we close the public hearing. Commissioners, discussion? All right, may I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay, motion by Stephen to approve,
I'll second.
seconded by Kristen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5B, final plat of Castle Hills Golf Course, Lot 2A-1, Block A, designated ETH, Estate Townhouse, and Lot 2A-2, Block A, designated Single Family Residential, R12. This is on 6.197 acres with 2 associated variances. It's bounded by Lady of the Lake Boulevard to the north and the Lake Boulevard to the west and Eve Lake Court to the west. Mary?
Commissioners, again, this plat is part of Castle Hills. What we're looking at is, here's the larger plat. This contains the golf course clubhouse, and then there's additional residential lots that were platted earlier. What is happening tonight is they've added this lot over here in this cul-de-sac. The way the zoning ordinance, sorry, I don't know if you can see that well. Essentially what they're asking for is to allow this lot to exist. The clubhouse and its amenities are gain access through the other two streets. So there's actually 3 street frontages. So that's why this variance is applicable. What you have is the residential street here on the cul-de-sac. You'll have this lot. Then you have this little 20-foot access easement here that they will use to access the property from the back. Currently, it's just a green lot. With the zoning requirements, this typically is required to be a 50-foot at the property line. The second part of the requested variance is that the width over here be 100 feet, where by allowing this lot here, they're short by almost 3.5 feet, just under 3.5 feet. Variances to the zoning requirements for Castle Hills are handled with the plats. Staff does not have any objections to this request. Do you have any questions?
What is going on that lot?
This lot here is going to be a house,
Okay.
so it'll be part of this street here. This is essentially part of the greater clubhouse lot, and right here is just green space currently. Their pool and all their other kind of amenities are back up here. They wanted to allow an access point in case they have to get in, this way to access the pool or do something else with this remainder property. So essentially, it's a 20-foot access point for them.
All right, thank you, Mary. This time we'll open up the public hearing. If there's anybody that wishes to step forward to speak on this subject, please do so. Sign in and state your name. Okay, having no one come forward, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, discussion? Motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Brent to approve,
Second.
seconded by Brandon. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 6 is a regular hearing for plat. It is preliminary plat of Castle Hills, Tract K, Lot 1, Block A, Lot 1, Block B, Lot 1, Block C, Lot 1, Block D, Lot 1, Block E, and this is on an 83.415 acre tract. It's designated General Business 2, GB2. It's located on the southwest corner of Farm to Market 544 and Sam Rayburn Tollway, State Highway 121. This does come with 3 requested variances. Jeff?
Okay, this is a preliminary plat. The purpose. Okay, thank you. The subject property is a preliminary plat. This is going to be a future office development on all these proposed lots. The requested variances is to allow a dedication of a street drainage pedestrian easement in lieu of a right-of-way dedication for right turn lanes along Sam Rayburn Tollway and also FM 544. Second one is to allow an alternate 80-foot right-of-way street section. This would have a reduced parkway from 15.5 feet to 7.5 feet, and also allow medians in this type of street right-of-way. Also, the last variance is to allow a reduced median opening spacing from FM 544 between Sam Rayburn Tollway and Midway Road. The requirement from a signal is 600 feet a median spacing. They're proposing a median opening spacing of 420 feet. Okay, see if y'all have any questions.
So the spacing for the light, how many cars does that relate to?
I'm not sure how to relate that to cars or to counts.
In the turn lane?
And certainly, we did do there was a traffic impact analysis performed
Okay.
to show that the level of service will not decrease with the addition of this median opening. It will allow cars to come in and out. The important thing is that the proposed street, Crown Parkway, which would have access to 544, that the west, to exit out of the subdivision and to go westbound, either on FM 544 to get westbound on State Highway 121 Business, without the opening, you would have to go like around the whole block and go through 4 more signals to make to get onto 121 Business going westbound.
Okay.
So it's we see it as an important opening to have to kind of avoid these issues, and we don't see it as a detriment to the intersection.
I have a question about the safety as part of the TIA. Did they look at the grades and the site distances and make sure that having an entry point to the road at that point is safe?
Yes, they did. I mean, it was, we don't see any grade issues out there.
Okay.
Just looking at it and reviewing and, driving out there myself, I didn't see any issues. They did not bring up any issues in the TIA.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, Jeff.
Okay, thanks.
At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. If anyone wishes to speak on the subject, please come forward, sign in, and state your name. All right, having no one come forward, we close the public hearing at this time. Commissioners, discussion? Questions? All right, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alvin,
I'll second.
seconded by Kristen. Those in favor signify aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 7 is public hearing zoning. There is 4 topics. Each one will be considered separately for a public hearing. 7A, consideration of zone change request from agricultural open space AO to light industrial L1 and local commercial LC. And this is on a 1.178 acres located on the east side of Mill Street, perpendicular to Valley Ridge Boulevard at 990 North Mill Street. It's further identified as Track 45 of the Wagner Survey, Abstract 1399. This request is being made by B. Crosley, property owner. This is case number PZ 2014-0503. Mary?
I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this site, but it's been there for over 40 years. It's currently the live bait shop. Valley Ridge Boulevard currently dead ends into North Mill Street here. The city has essentially acquired this property and is going to extend Valley Ridge Boulevard through to College Street. So that acquisition has essentially bisected this property. Currently, the property was zoned agricultural open space, and ag open requires 100-foot setbacks from every property line. So as part of bringing the property into compliance as much as possible, one of the requests that we're here for tonight is to go ahead and rezone this portion here to the south of the proposed right-of-way, light industrial to match the adjacent property, and then this little section to the north, local commercial, which will match what's adjacent to it as well. This will allow some flexibility in the setback requirements. It is part of what we're doing in terms of, there will be a modified site plan for this property, and we are going to the Board of Adjustment tomorrow for the existing buildings to remain. There are some buildings being removed, but the ones that are existing to stay there. So what is before you this evening is to change the zoning from ag open to both light industrial and local commercial, matching what is adjacent to it. Do you have any questions?
I do. On the little piece north of where the road is going to come through?
Right.
How big is that?
That is 0.117 acres. It's not that
Enough
big.
to do anything with?
I'm not sure if it'll actually be big enough to do anything. At some point, maybe the neighbor might acquire it to expand their business. But we haven't, that's really not, I guess, what we're looking at tonight, but
Okay,
we don't have any plans for that piece of property currently.
okay.
Along that same lines, Mary, I'm assuming the property owner on the local commercial is going to lose part of their tip of their land in the extension of Valley Ridge.
Right, I believe, has that been acquired? That has been acquired as well.
So they may need to purchase that 0.1 whatever acres to.
Certainly an option. And this would be an easy transition if it was all zone.
Resolve the zoning and then let them purchase it if necessary.
Right.
If not, fair enough, can own that.
Right, that's definitely an option. And so the zoning that we're requesting is to make it match with the adjacent property.
Yeah. Very good.
All right, thank you, Mary. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody wishes to step forward and discuss this topic, please do so now. All right, having no one come forward, we'll close the public hearing at this time. Commissioners, discussion, concerns, questions? All right, may I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Brandon to approve as presented,
Second?
seconded by Brent. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7B, consideration of a zone change request from light industrial, which is L1, to Old Town Mixed Use 2, OTMU2, on a 0.1151 acres located at 305 East Walter Street, further identified as Keeley Addition, Lot 12. It's south 95.49 feet, and it's Block 9. This request is being made by Mark Tuckey, the property owner. This is case number PZ 2014-0504.
Good
Jay?
evening, Commissioners. This property is currently zoned light industrial. There's a single-family home on the lot, which is currently being used as a residence. The owners are also renovating this home to make it look much nicer. They plan to continue using it as a residence for some time. However, they are also interested in rezoning to OTMU2 zoning for future redevelopment options. It is in our Old Town Master Plan as our recommended zoning, and we are recommending approval of the zone change.
Okay. Questions for Jay? All right, thank you, sir. All right, at this time, we'll open up the public hearing on 7B. If anyone wants to come forward and speak on that subject, please do so. State your name and sign in.
Sign here.
Pull the microphone down just a little bit, and there we go.
Okay. I just have a question. We own all the rest of the land on that block, and it's already light industrial right now. It's a house and it's a residence, and they're redoing it. Why does it need to change?
Staff?
The advantages of rezoning the property, there's a couple. So if it's light industrial, to have a home on it is allowed in terms of like a legal non-conforming. But let's say you wanted to add a garage or something to your house. you wouldn't be able to do that because it's not considered a residential property. It's considered a commercial property. So there's a few obstacles that way. By rezoning it to Old Town Mixed Use 2, it gives you that flexibility of either doing commercial or residential. It gives you additional flexibility in your setback requirements. So if you wanted to build something, it's less restrictive in terms of, instead of having a 25-foot front yard setback, it's probably, a lot less, like 5 or 10 or whatever, what have you. So it's not required, but it is definitely an advantage, we think. And it does conform with our Old Town Master Plan for this area.
And what is the master plan?
It shows different areas of town being, there's different zoning categories. So there's Old Town Mixed Use 1, which allows straight, just residential, any type of residential. Old Town Mixed Use 2 gives you a little bit more flexibility, either doing commercial or residential. And then there's the Old Town Center Business District, which is right off of Main Street between
I know what
Church.
they are, but I was wondering, it'll come to me slowly, this is what happens when you get old. If that's light industrial,
Right.
if you want to add a garage, you couldn't add a garage. There's not very many there's not a place to add a garage in that lot to begin with, unless it's in the backyard, it takes up the whole backyard.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is you couldn't just come in and apply for a permit like any other residents could. You would actually have to go to the Board of Adjustment and ask to expand a legal non-conforming use.
Okay.
And they would have to approve that. There's another panel, it's the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and you would have to prove a hardship in order to do that.
Okay. Well, if you just want it to stay light industrial. That's what happens if you just want it to stay light industrial.
Like I said, you can leave it light industrial and you can continue living in it, but the moment that you want to expand something or do something to your property, it has limitations.
Does light industrial from the Old Town mix change value property or?
Taxes and all that, that's not really what we deal with, but.
I'm just asking. I just want to know, like I said, we own up here where it says L1 up here on the middle of Harris Street. And the guys park here, they walk down to the lower lot, they get the machines, and they pull them out. We have 18-wheelers bringing in Portland sand and gravel. And it's kind of busy, steady street there. That's why I was wanting to know why it should change.
The Old Town Mixed Use 2 was developed to allow for redevelopment opportunities. So the idea is that someone will come in and hopefully, redevelop the property, either making it commercial or residential, but it gives them more flexibility, more property to use. So with light industrial, you're limited as to what can go there. The Old Town Mixed Use 2 is supposed to be a little bit more user-friendly for Old Town. Allows you more flexibilities, so.
Ms. Williams, this doesn't mean that you're gonna have to change anything. You're fine, you're legal right where you are. There's nothing that has to change. It's when, this particular instance is probably these people wanted to put a lean-to or something on the back of their house so that they could have like a carport kind of feature.
Okay.
So they could protect their car. And they couldn't do that in light industrial just by going to get a building permit.
Thank you.
So they had to come and either get it totally rezoned to this mixed use 2, or they had to go to the Zoning Board of Adjustments and then to City Council to get all these
Okay.
non-conforming uses.
Thank you.
No
Okay.
problem.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I did.
All right, anyone else? All right, this time we'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, discussion? All right, if not, may I have a motion?
Make a motion, recommend approval.
Motion by Karen to recommend approval.
I'll second.
Motion by Kristen to second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C is consideration of the zone change request from General Business GB to Old Town Mixed Use OMTU2 on 4.089 acres. This is located at 201 South Mill Street, further identified as LSC Edition, Lot 1, Block A. This request is being made by CADG Mill Street, LLC, the property owner. This is case number PZ 2014-0505. Jay?
All right, this 4-acre property is actually just south of us here across Main Street. It is currently zoned general business, and the owners are interested in rezoning to OTMU2, just like the last zoning case. OTMU2 does allow a mix of commercial and residential uses and densities, including single-family, townhome, multifamily, as well as retail, restaurant, and other office uses. The property currently consists of 3 primarily vacant multi-tenant buildings that you've probably seen as you drove here tonight. We have no official plans for redevelopment, though the owners are currently planning for redevelopment. We have not seen any official plans yet. This is in our Old Town Master Plan as our recommended zoning, and we do recommend approval.
Commissioners? Comments, questions? All right, Jay, thank you very much. This time we'll open up public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak on this subject, please step forward, state your name and sign in. All right, having no one come forward, at this time we'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, discussion?
What's the hint that it's going to be? You have a hint, please?
There's been lots of discussion, hopefully some residential, maybe a little bit of retail, but I think they're still working on the details.
The big piece. Thank you. Recommend approval?
Motion by Karen, second by, Stephen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, consideration of special use permit, SUP. It's a request for the auto auction facility on 41.051 acres, zone light industrial, L1. This is located at 1836 Midway Road, further identified as Metro Auto Auction Dallas Edition, Lot 1R, Block A. This request is being made by Buckeye 59, the property owner. It is case number SUP 2014-0501. Mary?
Commissioners, what we're discussing tonight is a special use permit for, essentially, there's Metro Auto Auction occupies the site. The plat was earlier on the agenda this evening. Essentially, what they're looking to do is expand their facility. They've had a lot of success. I think they were looking to expand at some point. I think it's just come a lot sooner than they had expected. So currently, originally, there was a building and some other buildings on here, and they went and demolished everything. They've constructed a new building up here, and a reconditioning building in the back here. We have some detention ponds. As you can see, they bought some of the houses that were over here, a church. They had to do a lot of digging out of construction debris, dumping, illegal dumping back there. So they've done a lot to go ahead and clean up the site. Currently, there's, originally it was 30.211 acres. What they're looking to do is expand it to 41 acres, roughly. Lot 2 is not part of the expansion process. They have Barfnicht, Holford's Prairie, and Midway Road are all substandard roads. Currently, Midway Road is under design for paving and drainage improvements. Holford's Prairie Road will soon be under design as well. I'm not sure what the time frame is for Barfnicht's Lane. Essentially, whenever people are developing property, if the roads are substandard, they are required to either construct the road or provide escrow for their portion of the road. The Metro Auto Auction site here has paid over $777,000 for road improvements. essentially 136,670 with this last plat, and the remainder with the Phase 1 process. What they're looking to do, I'm going to just show you a few pictures of their current facility. I don't know if you probably have a better image on your screen from the packet. Essentially, they've built a brand-new building out there. They have some really nice landscaping up against the building. They're providing, like I said, a lot of landscaping up front. Their facility, how they operate is they have auctions certain days of the week. So the rest of the remainder of the time, they're receiving deliveries, reconditioning the cars, getting them repurposed for the auction. They have provided a privacy fence around their facility, acts as security as well as for them. So it does screen the streets from the vehicles that are coming in. Here's just a few more pictures of landscaping islands that they have to the front along Midway Road. Here's some pictures of the interior of the facility. So with the special use permit, the auto auction site does fall under an SUP, which essentially requires that they go through an engineering site plan process and then have to go through the public hearing process like a zone change request to allow the auto auction use. This site, when originally developed back in 2011, was not part of the special use permit process. With this additional or expansion, they did fall under the special use permit requirements. So we have been working with them to through this process. Some of the, just kind of show you here. When you look at the site, essentially all of this is, over here, is existing. The changes to the site are they've, acquired property over here. They're looking to, previously this was part of their display. They have now changed this. This is going to be part of their customer parking area. Their display area has expanded. So here's a reconditioning building. They're going to have more display areas back here. They are building 2 more detention ponds. They've cleaned up all this area back here. When you look at green space, they've obviously, they have trees in their parking lots. They've got those nice landscaped islands up here, up against the building. They have additional landscaping, as we saw with the pictures. Down along all their street frontages, they've added trees. And then we have, where they have their detention pond, their proposed new detention pond back here. They're leaving a nice green space back here. They've added, they've done some mitigation, and they're adding additional trees to screen in that area. In terms of screening for the facility, these areas here in black are where they keep their display cars. The red, I don't know if you can see the red here, existing masonry privacy fence, which currently ends right here, comes around back down here. What they're proposing is to extend that masonry privacy fence back down around here, around the pond. So essentially, all the cars that they have back there will be screened from view. You won't be able to see them. In this particular area here, where they have green grass and the trees, they're proposing just for security to leave a chain link fence.
Is this just a daytime operation, or do they work?
Sorry, is it just a daytime?
Just a
operation?
daytime business?
Yes. So they currently employ about 180 people. I believe it's 80 full-time and 100 part-time.
And has there been any feedback from the residents adjacent to that?
We've only
Since-
received a few phone calls asking what they're doing, and no negative feedback. They were just curious. So we've told them, they're looking to expand, and that was about it.
It's definitely been an improvement over,
Yes, that area has definitely improved over the last few years, and I think, when they start improving Midway Road and Holfors Prairie Road, we'll see a bigger difference out there. So part of the SUP, they are providing the masonry fence, the chain link fence. They've added additional landscaping where we've requested them by their ponds. And staff would recommend approval of the special use permit request. Do you have any questions?
Got a question. How much money did you say they invested on the streets?
The streets, they've, between Phase 1 and Phase 2, the plats, when it's collected at the time of plat, $777,030.
Now, excuse me, is the waste management still running their trucks on Midway going out towards 544? Do you know? Is that the way it comes out?
I'm not sure of what their driving pattern is, but I'm,
Waste management.
Yes.
I think, yeah, the entrance to their facility is at the end of Holford's Prairie.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think they drive out, they take like Holford's Prairie straight out to 127.
I think there's a light there now. I think there's a light right there.
And you said they had plans to start working on one of the roads, but not the other?
It's under design currently.
Oh, under design, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the other one, they take pieces and they work on it. And I believe Midway is currently under design. Holford's Prairie should be hopefully later this year.
How long how long is the street escrow? Is it 10 years still?
10 years.
Okay, thank you.
all right, thank you, Mary. At this time, we'll open up a public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on this subject, please come forward and do so. Sign in, state your name. All right, having no one come forward, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, further discussion? All right, can I have a motion?
Recommend approval.
Second.
Recommend approval by Karen, seconded by Brandon. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last item is adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Alvin, seconded by Karen. Those in favor, aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.